selling the same exact product, just instead of in San Antonio, I was in Florida. All of a sudden it was 79 degrees, moist, right? It was sticky, humid.
Yeah.
And San Antonio was cold, and I went from doing, I'll tell you in yeses. So I used to be getting maybe between 12 to 15 yeses per day, like sales, like customers that would say yes. And I got there, you know, I'm like, I'm gonna help this guy out, build the office back up. He put all the responsibility on me. He gave me 4 interns to train on one day. And I'm like, got this. And I got the first day, and I dropped 1 sale. Instead of 15, I dropped 1. I'm like, okay, it must be something weird here. And then I dropped the next day 2, and then 2, and then 2, and then my attitude was gone. So I got really good at I had to admit it, because it was like clearly my attitude. Like, you know, it's your attitude when like people, before you even open your mouth, people like, no thank you. Right? No, not interested. It's the only, think about it, the only thing they see is you, and before you have a chance to like, you know, maybe give them money for free, they already say no, it's because it's you. Okay, you can try to think of something else, but it's you. And the quicker you admit it to you, the quicker you will be able to fix it. And I was like, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. But then, you know, I'm like, why is that person so rude? And then I would see the customer checking out with the cashier, and they were so nice to the cashier. I'm like, So anyway, I had to take breaks almost I remember I had like a life thinking break. I would think about my whole life in this break. I was so serious because I thought about quitting, and I had like 5 leaders in my team. I was ready to get promoted. Like, my leaders are calling me, resourcing about their problems, and I'm like, I was there in Florida thinking, man, I didn't want to answer. Lost my shit, and here's what helped me. Okay, I did 2 things. The life break was like, I literally remember sitting down on this curb like this, all lonely, because like my 4 interns, they left after like they were gone, like Fugazi. You know what Fugazi is? These interns, they're like, their internship was real quick, right? It lasted about 48 hours. Like, they made no money with me, and I made even less. So, and Julia Davis, it's like the first time I qualified to talk to an NC as a leader. She was like, I'm like, Julia, I try to help this owner out, and I was giving her advice on how the owner should run his office, and she's like, well, if you're sucking in the field, like, you don't have no credit, but you can't help anybody. How are you? And I was like, yeah, okay. So anyway, and this one break that I took, I was sitting at this curb in Florida, 79 degrees. It was beautiful. And I looked at the building because I was working inside of Sam's Club. I was the person selling creams at the pharmacy aisle. So if there was not enough people in the store and you would be shopping for clothes or whatever, I would pull up next to you while you're folding clothes. I'm like, hey, did they tell you about these creams? They make you look younger. It fixes your face, whatever. And that would be really awkward. And this one break, I'm sitting like this on the curb and was looking at Sam's Club thinking, dude, this freaking building is getting to me. You know? And then I literally, for some reason, I asked myself this question, stupid question to ask someone. And I was like, am I going to tell my grandkids that this one building is Sam's Club has like ruined my life and my career? Like, is that going to be my story? And I was like, well, maybe it is, because it's hard. I was like, maybe it's gonna be because it's hard. But I was like, no, bro. No, bro, it can't be that. Yeah. But it's hard. And then I remember going through my head, and I was like, okay, Richard, let's think I want you to think to yourself all the stuff that you went through in life that was bad. And I literally, like, this is a mini break that I was taking, and I went from like, talk to myself, and I was like listing all the things that I went through in life that were hard, like I had cancer when I was 15. I had a girl that broke my heart when I was 17. I had all this shit that I suffered for, and then I did, okay, cool, let me do a list of all the things that are positive. I was like, cool. I beat cancer, and I was not a terrible student. I had fun through school because I was able to get good grades. I always had food on my plate. My parents worked enough for me to have food always. And I just did all of that in a mini break. And then what helped me was this. So this is for you. And again, you don't have to recognize you have a bad attitude. If you do it, it'll be better. Just try to do it to your upline and not to your peers, because sometimes you ruin somebody else's day because you share how shitty your day is. And again, here is what helped me. Okay, so I looked at the field and time blocks. Okay, so this is what I want you guys to practice today. It's tricking your brain to work more and harder during the time that you're there. I love the fact that no one in Dallas, like this is, if there's something we want to be known by, and then you're running the meeting, sorry, this is going to be super quick. One thing we want to be known by, or I love our office to be known by, is work ethic. And the fact that like nobody, I don't think nobody yesterday sent the territory at least until 8 p.m., which means you were in the field until 8 o'clock. Dude, kudos to you. All of you guys that stayed out there, like Charlie that did 7 sales between 7 p.m. and 9. Like if you're having a bad day and you got fuel in the tank, listen, between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., is there anybody that's not home other than us? Everyone's home. You're gonna get the talk tos, okay? If you want to have the day, it just requires for you to stay longer. But this would mean you don't have to. You wouldn't have to stay longer if you practice this, okay? But again, being known by work ethic is great. So what I did is I convinced myself, because I was losing my attitude in about 45 to 1 hour time spans. My attitude was like, I will get it back 5-10 minutes, gone, right? It was like, it would go away fast. I don't know about you guys, how you guys lose it, but when I lose my attitude, I lose it hard. Like, I used to have to smoke 3 cigarettes to get it back. It was bad. And I would still feel that, you know that little worm you got inside your chest? When you lose your attitude, you're nervous? Yeah. You got this little worm, or how do you call it? Thing?
Butterflies in your
Butterflies. Butterflies, man, I had like, it was like a cow for me. It was not a butterfly, it was big. And I looked at the field, and I always looked at the clock. Anybody looked at the field, you're in the field, you look at the thing, you're like, man, so much time left until so. Whoever felt like that before? If you felt like that, okay, it's normal, okay? You're going through it happens, okay? I remember, by the way, if you worked in Whataburger, it always feels like that. I remember I worked at Whataburger, and it was always, I'm like, cool, it's been at least 2-3 hours, and I looked at the clock, it'd been like 36 minutes. I'm like, I've been like, dude, I've done like 40,000 pounds of French fries. It's only been 36 minutes. Anyway, if you have a real bad job, it always feels like that. It never felt that it went by fast. 6 hours, 6 hours, okay? Let's say the field is 6 hours. It might be 7, depends on where you're driving to, whatever. Call it 6. So what I would do is, I said 2 hours, but instead block it in 1 hour and a half time blocks. So here's the way I want your brain to think, okay? Instead of work, what would it be easier for your brain? To work 1 6-hour shift or 4 different shifts of 1 hour and a half?
1 hour. 1 hour and a half.
Right, so what I would do is do 1.5 hour shifts. Like I would literally put a timer. And I wouldn't take breaks, I wouldn't update my tracker, I wouldn't do anything. Like for 1 hour and a half, I would be a ghost. And I would just go, like, and I was in the store by the time, so we would have a little kiosk booth, and I would put my stuff under, and I would have a lab coat. I'm selling skincare, I have a lab coat on, and I would just have my creams ready to sample the shit out of your wrist. Hey man, let me see your wrist real quick. And I would do like this, like a girl, and then like people would come, like it was crazy. But I would ask myself, okay, my goal was 10 demos an hour. Like I just need to do, if I do 10 demos an hour, man, for all day, it's gonna be fine. But instead of asking, like looking at a 6-hour shift, like, gosh, I'm not here until 6, I would like literally schedule breaks. Like, dude, schedule yourself today, do a 1 hour and a half break, schedule yourself a break, a mini break, like a 5-minute, like sit down if you wanna sit down, or go get some water, or just literally sit down, or FaceTime a friend, or watch a YouTube video, or put Dave Chappelle on the phone, or something that just gets you a little bit, like a 5-minute breather. But for 1 hour and a half, here's the you gotta ask yourself this question is, can I work to my full intensity, like if it was the last hour, like my kids are watching? Can I work to my full intensity for 1 hour and a half? For 90 minutes, can I be the most intense just for 90 minutes? Or and that can maybe 85 minutes. Okay, and what's the answer to that?
Yes.
That's cool. And that's all you ask yourself. You don't ask yourself, you don't put a sales goal, you don't put anything. Maybe you can put a talk to goal, or hey, get 7 phones. Or 6 phones, something realistic, something you can accomplish, 5 phones. Can I get 5 phones in the next hour and a half? That's it. And work to my fullest potential of intensity. And then take a break. And I would ask myself, okay, Richard, can you do that? So I had to do it for 45 minutes because I was losing my attitude really often. It was frequent. So hopefully you're not that bad, but an hour and a half. And then instead of working a 6-hour shift today, just get to the field. Let's say you get there at 1, do until 2:30. So your brain is now operating only until 2:30. And you look at the next hour and a half a little different, because by the time you start, it's been already 3 minutes. By the time you're gonna get back get to the break, it's been 3 minutes. So it's really not 90 minutes, it's 80. Can you work 80 minutes to the full potential? Put your phone on your pocket or somewhere it doesn't vibrate, put it in airplane mode, and go nuts. But for an hour and a half, just like focus on running. Whenever you have a conversation, stop, breathe, and like create a bubble around that customer and have the best conversation you have. And then next, and then next, and then don't stop. And just 1 hour and a half, just that. And your brain knows that at 2:30, you're having a break. Literally, so let's say it's 1 p.m., so you do 1 to 2:30, and then you take a 5 minute, a 10 minute if you're really that tired. Okay, and then you do 2:40 to 4:10. And then you do 4:20 to 7, right? I don't know, did I do it right?
No, not at all.
That's only 3?
It's close.
Six. Which one is like six?
That's 6?
550.
550, right. Okay, cool. 550, and then I'm doing 6 to 7-ish, whatever time. Or 6 to 7. The last shift, the last one is 1 hour. And then 6 to midnight. Right. Midnight mentality. No, and then obviously extra mile if you want to extra mile, but that's how I looked at my shifts. I would just ask myself, Richard, can you work to the hardest with no excuses? Because I would complain to myself a lot in my head. Like I would just complain, well, Florida's different. Oh, people here don't want skincare. Think about that thought. I would literally tell myself, like, yeah, people in Florida, they just don't want skincare. Like, I literally thought that. Like, it makes no sense. Like, skincare is the product that is, like, people buy more skincare than, like, a baby food, bro. Like, they'd rather buy a cream for their own face than food for their kids. It's crazy how much skincare is sold in Florida. And I would just tell myself, yeah, Chang, people in Florida, they just don't want skincare. They're walking around here with this dry skin. It's a fucking lie, okay? It was such a lie. But anyway, I did this, and I caught myself, and then I would restart my day. Like, if let's say I score a sale here, at this point, I'm at 0. Like, I would start a new tracker, which, by the way, you guys can all do it because I'm printing so many sheets, and then I realized all of you guys have like 18 trackers in your freaking binder. So I will start a new tracker. I'll see, can I beat myself for 1 more extra door? Can I beat myself for 2 more talk-tos? But I would start. It was like a new day, reset. Like I would put my cell into the system. At this shift, I'm at 0. Challenge yourself. Can you if you do 1, can you get to 2 in your 1 hour and a half shift maybe? If you're thinking about sales, but it doesn't matter. Just put your brain on a 1 hour and a half shift, not on a 6-hour shift. And just convince yourself, like, dude, it's gonna be whatever. Can I just do the best for an hour and a half? The best effort wise. And then after an hour and a half, dude, take a break. Like, put an alarm on your phone, take a break, and relax. Take 10 minutes, and then ask yourself, can I go another hour and a half to the full potential? And then just do that. Do your best for that hour and a half. Restart how many doors? Like, you're never gonna be today, an hour and a half, how many doors can you do? Maximum.
60.
Some of you guys can do like 3.
I say
based on
60.
your-
I say 60. 60 is
Let's do 100.
Let's say it's 60 is the maximum you'll do in an hour and a half, 60. So basically today you'll never get to 100 doors. You see what I mean? Because you're starting at 0 all the time. Like, the whole point is that it's a new day, it's a new shift. You starting at 0. It's important that you start a new tracker and you're at door 1 again. Does that make sense? Just do the math later for the breakdown. Who cares? Does that make sense? Like, I used to even park my car somewhere else. Like, I need a new shift. My brain is new. Like, the last hour and a half, it's gone. It's just gone. I'm like, Richard, it's a new day. And like, I would do 0. A lot of my shifts, I would do 0. And I would think, damn. And I would get that little nerve, like, okay, I know it's a whole day. I know really it's a whole day. It's not a 5-minute shift. But I go, okay, it's time. Okay, no, new shift. What can I do the next hour and a half? Just focus the next hour and a half. Focus the next customer. Focus the next immediate thing. Instead of focusing on the whole day, some of you guys even focusing on the week. No, just focus on the next person that opens the door and make sure that they get a back so that they don't have to carry all these cases. Bring them a back. We're delivering backs. You get backs. You know? I got Tommy's ankle. We're delivering backs to people. If you pay a little more, you get a waist. Anyway, help people out, but just do an hour and a half. Put an alarm on your clock, and you put 85-minute alarms intervals, and you just ask yourself, can I work the hardest? Can I work the most intense for 85 minutes? If you do this right, you're not gonna even notice. All of a sudden, it's 5:30. You'll be like, damn, and that's when you know you're gonna have a good day. You're gonna be at the third shift. You're like, oh shit, I'm at 4. But you still restart. It doesn't matter you're having a good day. You restart at 6. You're at 0 again. And how much damage can you do from 6 to 7? How good could your shift be? That's it. You trick your brain. You trick your brain. You do this constantly. Constantly. You wake up in 2 years, you're an owner. You're running a team of 100 people. You're running Russia.
Russia.
Yeah, you're
Wake
running
up one day
Japan.
Russian.
There's a guy from Iowa. He's from Iowa. He's running Japan. He has 2 NCs. He runs 60 offices. He's running Japan. He's like, there was nobody in Japan. They sell fruits and vegetables door to door. They're super expensive in Japan. Fruits and vegetables. He's like, one day, the way he explained it is like, yeah, one day, and I'm in Japan. Osaka. You do your little shifts, you do your little stuff. You teach garden theory, you're in Osaka. Speak Japanese.
Apples.
Here's an apple. Yeah. 100 rubies or whatever they sell there. Anyway, do you guys think you can use this? Absolutely. Cool. You guys ready for announcements and shit?